AIO, my boyfriend thinks I'm only dating him because he's rich. Throwaway account, I just need some advice. I, F29, have been dating my boyfriend, M35, for almost 6 months. We've known each other for about a year and a half. I'm a teacher and make around $50K a year, and he is a lawyer, and while his yearly earnings vary based on which clients and companies he works with, it's always somewhere in the 6 figures. Recently, we attended a family get-together at my parents' house. My parents, MNF60s, and older brother, M35, had already met him before this, but also invited some of our extended family and my SIL's family as well. Everything was going fine until my sister, F32, walked in. We are low contact, we'd be no contact if my parents didn't want to have a relationship with her, and nobody told me she had been invited. When I asked my mom what was up, she said she invited her because she needed some encouragement. I was absolutely fuming, but decided to see how the night went and leave if my sister decided to stir anything up. Thankfully, my sister seemed fine and I didn't see her much. My boyfriend left early since he was tired, and I thought that was that. Boy, was I wrong. A week passed with no messages from him, which is really weird. We text each other every day, just chatting about our days or making plans for dates. Then all of a sudden, he texts me to meet up at a park and that he wanted to talk about something important. I had no idea what was up. We meet, he doesn't hug me, also out of the ordinary, and I ask him what's wrong. First thing out of his mouth, "Are you dating me just because I'm rich?" What the hell? No, I'm not, and I tell him that. He just asks me again, like he doesn't believe me. I ask him where he's getting this from. It's so out of left field. Then he asks me if I've ever said all my problems would be solved if I married rich. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have joked about that. But in the same way you say maybe I should quit my job and move to Iceland and herd sheep for the rest of my life. Anyways, I tell him that and ask him again, where the heck is this coming from? He said my sister told him. Apparently, she introduced herself and they chatted for a bit. When he told her he was a lawyer, she said that makes total sense because OP always wanted to marry rich, looks like she's living the dream. Y'all. I could have screamed. I can't even describe the emotions I was feeling. My sister spent years bullying and abusing me, and she has the absolute audacity to take a joke I said when I was a depressed teenager with health issues out of context and misrepresent me to my boyfriend? Literally insane. I was shaking. I told my boyfriend that what she said was entirely out of context and he can't trust her. He just kept pressing and asking why she would say something like that so casually if it wasn't the truth. I told him because she's a narcissist who has spent years treating me like a punching bag and never taking accountability. He just couldn't get it. So I left. I told him that if he was going to take the word of one person who he just met over the word of all of my friends and family who will vouch for me that I'm not that kind of person, over all of the months he's spent getting to know me as a person, then this wasn't going to work. The tears were already started to come down, but I managed to hold it together alright until I got to my card and just sobbed. I feel broken. I'm in love with my boyfriend. He is the first person I have ever felt comfortable being myself with. He truly is such an intelligent and mature person. The way he communicates in our relationship has been truly healing coming from the family dynamics I grew up with. But the biggest fear I've had with dating is that someone wouldn't trust me. That the person I love and trust the most would question me on who I am when I've already shown them. Which is why this whole situation is so confusing and painful. I don't get it. It's been a few days and I don't know where we go from here. I haven't texted him because I need space and he hasn't texted me either. Am I overreacting? I feel like he should have known better than to just take essentially a stranger's word over mine. Where do we go from here? Edit. Thank you for your comments, guys. I've been trying to read them all this morning. The commenter who talked about relationships being a two-way street really stuck in my head. I don't think I've handled this properly. That, and the commenter talking about me essentially being the dumper and that if I don't want this relationship to end, I'm the one who needs to make that clear. All in all, I don't think I handled this situation well. I'm gonna text my boyfriend and see if we can actually just hash everything out. I'm not sure where things are gonna end up, but I know that neither of us can make a decision about anything if we don't talk about it. We'll see how it goes. Update. Hi all. I just want to make an update since a lot has happened over the weekend. Hopefully this isn't too long of a read for you. Some commenters helped me realize that simply walking away from the conversation was not the right thing to do. I decided to text my boyfriend on Friday and sent him this message. Hey boyfriend, I want to apologize for leaving things the way I did. I was really upset and hurt, so I left before my emotions got worse, which obviously didn't help the situation. Can we meet up this weekend and talk? I want to see if we can get on the same page and evaluate our relationship. He texted me back almost immediately and agreed to meet up at my place yesterday. I was pretty nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Some people thought that I should just break up with him and others thought that maybe there was something deeper going on that he wasn't telling me. Either way, I wanted to get all the facts. When I opened the door, he was holding a bouquet of flowers and had a look on his face I have never seen before. It was a mixture of sad and concerned, which was kind of overwhelming because he's not really the type to be so expressive or emotional. He gave me the flowers, we sat down and the first words out of his mouth were, "I'm so sorry, OP. I know get up." That apology just really calmed me down, because I was so afraid this was going to be a back and forth of us trying to defend ourselves for what happened. He said he was just about to text me to meet up and talk when I texted him. I thanked him for the apology, apologized for my reaction too, and asked him, how did we get here? Can you just explain everything from the beginning so I can understand? I was not prepared for what he told me. For some context, my boyfriend was not the person he used to be. He used to be a serial womanizer, workaholic type of guy. I was aware of all of this before we started dating. His dad, who is also a lawyer, was his idol. He wanted to be just like him. However, his dad had been married to his mom for many years, so that was where my boyfriend drew a line. He was fine hooking up with women while he was single, but as soon as he got married, that would be the end and he would be a faithful partner like his dad. Unfortunately for him, things kind of all came crashing down when he found out his mom had been cheating on his dad for years. When my boyfriend told his dad about it, his dad told him to keep it to himself because his dad had also been cheating for years. I think they both knew about the other's affair partners and just decided they cared more about their image and reputation, so they never got a divorce. My boyfriend was floored. The idealized image of his dad was shattered and he got really depressed. He started drinking and going to bars more after work, and that's where he met our mutual friend, Matt, fake name. Matt was working as a bartender and got to know him a bit. Matt's a wonderful person, the type who really takes an interest in everyone. Matt helped him get a better handle on his life and they became friends. My boyfriend completely changed his lifestyle. He stopped overdrinking, cut his hours down from the 80 to 90-hour work weeks he used to do, and stopped objectifying women just to sleep with them. Matt later moved into my city for work and I was introduced to him because he started dating one of my friends, Becca. My boyfriend and I actually met at Matt and Becca's wedding. Anyways, my boyfriend moved out here a few years ago to get away from his parents after his lifestyle changed to essentially restart his life for good. So that brings us to last week, after I left the park. My boyfriend took what I said to heart, that the word of my family and friends should be enough for him to trust me, and went straight to Matt after to get his thoughts. My boyfriend said Matt was really kind, letting him explain what happened without interrupting, but then afterward Matt really laid into him. Matt asked him, do you really think OP would still be living in a crappy one-bedroom apartment if she was dating you just for your money? Has she ever given you any reason to question her before all of this? My boyfriend admitted that I have never given him any reason to question my motives. That he knows I'm generous and not materialistic, but my sister's words got into his head. He said it was like listening to a child. They have no reason to lie you, so I believed it immediately. I actually don't blame him for that part. Every single person who has met my sister describes her as innocent and bubbly and has a very difficult time seeing her as anything but that. Even my parents still view her like this despite them knowing how many people she's cheated on, how much of their money she's wasted and never given back, and how many times she's joked about killing/harming them or myself. I didn't know this next part, but my boyfriend opened up to Matt when they were first getting to know each other about how many women used him for his money. I knew that his last relationship ended badly while he still lived out east, but apparently this was the first major relationship after his lifestyle change and he really loved her. He bought basically everything for her all of the time and she still cheated on him. All of that led him to become really insecure about people's motives when it came to dating. He explained that even some of the nicest women just lit up and acted completely different when he told them he was a lawyer, and it completely killed any desire he had to get to know them better. He told Matt he didn't want to date anyone unless he knew someone who could vouch for them personally. Matt was the one who encouraged him to ask me out because he already noticed we liked each other and told my boyfriend that I was a good person. Back to their recent conversation, Matt suggested that if my boyfriend needed more outside confirmation, he should listen to me and go talk to people in my life to get a better perspective on what kind of person I am. My boyfriend has actually spent the last week doing exactly that. He even went to my parents and told them what happened. Apparently, my mom was horrified. She really likes my boyfriend, so when she found out that inviting my sister had essentially caused a rift in our relationship, my mom got really upset. Her whole aspiration has always been to see all her children married, and since my sister has had nothing but failed relationships and I've otherwise been chronically single, knowing she did anything to mess up my relationship was probably pretty upsetting to her. He said that she was crying and very apologetic. He also asked her to give me space until he had had a chance to apologize to me himself. Which in hindsight makes a lot of sense, because my mom usually calls and texts me every day and has been MIA this whole week. All in all, my boyfriend said that my friends and family had nothing but good things to say about me, that I was absolutely not a gold digger, and anyone who even suggests that is just plain wrong. I was crying pretty hard by this point, hearing everything. My boyfriend kept apologizing and saying he'd do anything to earn my trust back. But he also said that if our relationship was going to work, if my sister might pop up again unexpectedly, he needed to know everything. He wanted to be prepared for exactly what kind of person she is so that this kind of thing never happens again. So I told him. Not absolutely everything, because there's so much to cover, but once I started mentioning things I just kept going. I'm not going to get into the gritty details on Reddit because my sister might see it, and also a lot of it is really painful. But the long and short of it is she has untreated mental illnesses that she refuses to get help for. The times we have gotten her specific help, therapy, inpatient, medications, etc., she has been uncooperative or stopped treatment against medical professionals' advisement, and she has a pattern of abusive behavior/love bombing in all of her relationships, both familial and romantic, that she never takes accountability for. This is why I'm low contact with her. By now you're probably wondering if I'm in therapy. I haven't been for some time because I've been working contracts and didn't have insurance coverage through work, but I will come September. Something my boyfriend both agreed to in this conversation is for both of us to get individual therapy. Him to deal with his unresolved insecurities and trauma around his parents and past relationships, and me because my sister did a number on me and I've never really opened up about it in therapy. We're also going to set scheduled, weekly times where we're not necessarily going to go on dates but have uninterrupted time to talk openly, especially on any insights we've had in therapy. By this point of the conversation, things were getting a little less heavy, and I joked about how we both have the same trauma reaction of going silent when things get too intense. We both agreed that we didn't handle this well, and in the future, any and all concerns we have will be communicated properly and immediately. We're not going to run away from each other, and if we don't understand something, we're going to ask questions until we do. Since we talked for hours, we ended up just making dinner at my place and talking some more. I'm really hopeful for what comes next. That's a feeling I haven't felt for a while. Again, apologies for the long read. Typing everything out feels like a therapy in itself, lol.